Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell, of course, with you. And you better know what time it is. It is the preview show time. Jonathan Fjeld is here from the Racing Experts, so that means it's time to preview the Phoenix weekend. But what a weekend it was in Las Vegas. One, we can't pick winners to save our lives. Basically beat me in every category. And then obviously a surprise, two winners we didn't expect. Well, three winners actually we didn't expect in both trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyle Larson got the job done in Cup. AJ Allmendinger got the job done in Xfinity, and John Hunter Nemechek got it done in trucks. So good weekend of racing, a lot of fun to watch. Oh man, some of the multi-groove racing with the Xfinity Series and Cup Series. I mean, I personally think Las Vegas is one of the best intermediates on their schedule, and really proved it this weekend. So that was fun.
Okay, the trucks are off this week, so we'll pick up the truck conversation next week when they head to Atlanta. But let's go back to that Xfinity race. So we saw a lot of drivers kind of go up and back. Of course, Cindric had his issues. Not a good day for the blue. Besides Austin Cindric, it was not a good day for the Blue Oval with Ford. Riley Herbst had some issues. Brian Sieg had some issues. But in the end of the day, it was those colleague cars. The junior motorsports cars were strong. Um, Austin Cindric was strong. Those Gibbs cars were strong. But really, the focus is colleague racing, and what a performance by AJ Allmendinger to come in and put that one away.
Yeah, job well done. I get the feeling that they really worked on the car throughout the day because AJ kind of started off, doing good, not really race winning speed. Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, some of the JGR cars really had him covered. But then toward the end, AJ really elevated his performance, really got toward the front, elevated his speed, and was there at the end. Good win for him.
So yeah, I was actually talking to I had Chris Rice this week on the podcast, and Chris, actually, the colleague racing has just came so far, and I think Chris told it's really this is I think the most competitive I've seen colleague in a while. And we saw AJ win it at Atlanta. We've seen AJ win at Vegas. Do you think that the championship? I know, Cindric, Daniel Hemrick, and all those cars are running well, but would you put AJ up there as a contender for the championship?
I think it's almost too early to tell.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to see if they can maintain that performance. But I think with just the level of experience that AJ has, he brings to the team, I think you could chalk them up to be an early championship contender, kind of like how Alex Bowman was last year in the Cup Series, where he ran well early on in the season, had speed. Obviously, he faltered in the midseason, but toward the end of the season, he started to come back, had speed. So I think you could chalk him up to be kind of an early championship contender.
Yeah. There was and then also we'll get into Phoenix talk with the Xfinity series, but let's go to the Cup Series. Las Vegas. Kyle Larson gets it done. I think I think it was not a question on if he was going to win. The question was when, and I think where people were surprised at how was this early in the season. We didn't expect the 5 team, which was the former 48 team, that was Jimmy Johnson's old team, the pit crew and stuff, and crew chief and all that. They actually went out and got it done. Um, Again, like we talked about in Xfinity, is it too? Hendrick Motorsports has gotten really up there, but we saw those Gibbs cars up there as strong as well. But do you have to go through Hendrick Motorsports to get the championship? I know Chase won it last year, but we've seen Willie B win. Kyle's won. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, obviously very early in the season, but I think Hendrick Motorsports is back because they showed performance last season at Las Vegas. They showed strength, but it was mostly just, Chase Elliott running well like he has been for last couple of years, really being a banner for Hendrick Motorsports. But we've seen, I think, all 4 cars, mostly the 3 of Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott up there contending, running well. Uh, I think Hendrick Motorsports, I don't think they're the team to beat for the championship, but they're definitely back to a championship contending level. I think we could see the possibility of Hendrick Motorsports maybe being that team, like with this weekend at Phoenix, see how they perform. But Hendrick Motorsports is definitely back.
So when you look at Joe Gibbs Racing, and I want to get 2 more points. Of course, Joe Gibbs Racing had a really strong run. Who didn't have a strong run, however, was Stuart Haas Racing.
Ooh,
Um, so we're kind of going into that. You have these Gibbs cars, and it seems like Toyota has really kind of picked up because they did not perform. They weren't as dominant as they have been in years past. And then the puzzle of Stuart Haas Racing, I got to tell you, I spoke with Bugaravich yesterday, who was the crew chief of Air Camarola, and obviously the 10 team has not had the results that they wanted, but I just can't remember a time where all 4 cars just absolutely struggled.
yeah, it was weird seeing Kevin Harvick being lapped at near the end of the race, running back in 20th, 21st or so. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like just how they maintain their performance throughout the season. Was reading somewhere too that was the first time since 2014 at Las Vegas that all 4 of the Stewart Haas cars had finished outside the top 20 on an intermediate race. So, a I think obviously with a lot of things like early on in the season, it's still a little too early to tell. But I think it's something that they're going to have to look out for because we're going to several other smooth mile-and-a-half races like Las Vegas. You talk about Kansas. You talk about obviously Texas in the playoffs. Later on, that's going to be a very critical race for them. Like if they don't have the speed to be able to survive and advance, Kevin Harvick especially, might not be good for the team.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that pans out because definitely going to be interesting when crunch time rolls around. But Stuart House, they'll get it figured out. So kind of going into there was some news this week about Kevin Harvick because guess what he's going to be running some Xfinity races in the road courses at some of the road courses at the Indy Road Course at Road America as well as COTA. There was also news regarding him in there. He's also going to run in the truck race at the Bristol Dirt Race. We're seeing these Cup guys getting into these kinds of cars, and because of the dynamic schedule that we have this year, I think we're going to start to see the Cup guys start to run Xfinity again and trucks.
Yeah, and how funny it was that Kevin Harvick announced that he was going to run the Bristol Dirt Race in the Truck Series because when he was asked about his comments on the dirt race in Cup, he said it might be one of the longest dirt races he's ever run in his life. So I think, yeah, definitely to get that experience just with these unfamiliar tracks because of course limited practice, for the weekends with COVID. Obviously, the new tracks get some practice sessions and stuff, but I think it's going to be important for them to get in the cars, and it's cool to see them in the Xfinity series and also the Truck Series too, because they bring a level of experience that really allows some of the young guns to kind of compare themselves. And I think back in the day, when Xfinity was dominated by a lot of Cup drivers running a lot of races, it was sour. But now with some time, where the Xfinity drivers have been able to shine, and now the Cup drivers are able to come back and run some races, I think we're starting to see that dynamic really play out to the best of its ability. So it's gonna be fun seeing Kevin Harvick in some Xfinity Series races.
Yeah, we're also going to see Kevin Harvick in the truck at the Bristol Dirt. We're also going to see Ryan Preece
Mm.
in the truck for a couple races as well for the David Gillen Racing team. We got Phoenix coming up this weekend. No trucks, as I said earlier. There is an Arkham Menard Series race on Friday night. Of course, you can catch it on MAV TV at 8:30. We got there's an Xfinity race at Phoenix, and guess who's in the field? Mr. Ty Gibbs is back. Of course, who's going to run a handful amount of races this year, and of course, um, the media got to the chance to talk to Ty yesterday, and it seems like he's got a very busy weekend and a very busy schedule in 2021. He's running the ARCA race, and he's also running the Xfinity race as well. Um, there. And last time he was in an Xfinity car, won in his first start. But the difference between a road course and a track like Phoenix, which he is really good at, what are the chances of him, possibly going out and getting it done again?
I think he'll definitely run well. Phoenix is a track he's seen before, just with Arca and whatnot. I think he has a good shot at least scoring a top five, running well this weekend. Obviously, JGR equipment is always good there. Brandon Jones won last year in March after he passed Kyle Busch for the win. So I think we could see Ty Gibbs up there. It still blows my mind that he won in his debut. It was an amazing debut. I think he has a lot of potential for the future, and I think he could score a win this weekend.
There's one other guy that you need to watch out for when we get to Phoenix. And of course, if there is anybody that needs a good run and needs a win, it's Justin Allgaier. Of course, he's really, really good there. Of course, Austin Cindric, he won there last time we were here. Of course, that's where the championship was. Um, it's definitely going to be a show to be had there. But it's Phoenix, and who knows what's going to happen. There's a couple guys in the field. We got Blaine Perkins making his Xfinity Series debut and with the Our Motorsports team. So it's going to be a great Xfinity race. But hold that thought. We'll go back to Xfinity when we do picks. But we got the Cup race coming up Sunday. We've had 4 different winners so far. Like I said, Hendrick Motorsports has kind of dominated at the Chevy track in there. But you think Kevin Harvick's got a good chance at getting redeeming himself and redeeming Stuart Haas last week at Phoenix?
I think he just needs to have a good weekend. Whether that be contending for the win, whether that be run up in the top 5, top 10. He just needs to have a good weekend because for any team to run as bad as they did last weekend is demoralizing. There's no way two ways around it. I think Kevin Harvick could really do something good this weekend. He finished second last year in the March race. He had a string of 4 or 5 in a row years ago at Phoenix, 8 wins at the track, 8 or 9 wins at the track. He's a great driver there. I think he could do something really special this weekend.
Okay, so all right, it's time for our picks, and we did not, as I said, goodness, I need to win. I need to get my first win this year, and since we've been doing this, I don't think I have won this year with all the picks that I've done for all the races, because before we started doing this, I picked on, but I always tweet out my picks, and I have not done well with any of them. Okay, so. All right, Xfinity, who you got? I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, for Xfinity, I'm going to go with Justin Allgaier. I think he's going to get a good finish this weekend. I think he's going to pull it off. I think Austin Cindric will be very close, but I think Justin Allgaier is going to pull it off.
That'll be good for if Allgaier gets the win. I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs on this one. I think that he's really good at Phoenix. I picked him for the ARCA race as well. He's going to go 2 for 2 this weekend and put a real showing that this is going to be good. So yeah, I picked Ty a lot last year in ARCA, and it some worked and some didn't. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, for the Cup race, who should I go? I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch this week. I think Joe Gibbs Racing. I think Kyle's found a place where he knows he can do well at. For a while in this configuration, he won about just every race there. So I think Kyle's going to get done. It's a favorable track for Toyota. They do very well there. So I think the 18 is going to get it done and have the Kyle Busch Ben Beshore category in victory lane. We got it.
And you even pronounced it right too, Ben Beshore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good pick with Kyle Busch. 3.6 average finish, best of any driver, last 10 races. But I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I just think Hendrick Motorsports is on a roll right now. Chase Elliott's run well. The last 750 horsepower race at Daytona, he dominated the race. Obviously, this is an oval, compared to a road course, but just with the momentum he's got going on right now and the way Hendrick Motorsports run, I'm going to pick Chase Elliott.
All right. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a good weekend for sure. But that is the preview show for this week. Tune in next week when we are going to recap everything that happened in Phoenix, and we'll preview the action coming up next weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway. All right. Thank you for watching. And Jonathan, thanks for coming on once again.
Thank you for having me, Casey.